What? What'd that do? Nothing. We got an engine light and a muffler light on. Enough of that. That is the sound heard around the world. Everyone knows what that is. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I am currently meditating because it's gonna be the first time driving the Civic today in a couple months. It's probably been...
I look back when we first took the engine out. Probably in November.
Like 3 months. And I think it's ready for its first maiden voyage around the parking lot. It's how we test all our cars, right in the parking lot outside. We're currently putting the seat in the car. In the last video, if you guys missed it, I got a full brake line tuck kit from Finishing Lines. Everyone that so far they've liked the kit, and I mean, there's not a whole lot to hate about this. It'd be silly not to run it. It's the best brake kit on the market. It's the best brake line kit on the market, in my opinion. The attention to detail is crazy. New K-tuned camber arms in her. Got rid of those skunk 2-1s because they're just, you know, not my cup of coffee. This wiring, don't mind that right now. So here momentarily, be testing the car. Throw the wheels on, adjust the camber in the front arms, and then put the thing on the ground, and then hopefully for the first time. Got the wheels on. Might have to play with the camber a little bit because this side looks a little cambered in. We should test the brakes though before we take it out on the streets. I'm not spinning that wheel with my hand in there. I'll lose a finger. It seemed to work. We'll test once it's outside rolling under its own power. Careful, it could fall off. If it falls, it falls.
What do you do at that point?
You just accept it.
Weird when you put a car down. That looks like it's so low.
I feel like it could be a lower. I don't remember it being at this high.
Might settle.
They're old suspension.
They were up in the air.
They ain't brand new.
Why is it so high?
The arms, give it a little more lift. Take the camber back all the way out of this side. So we have this look right here. Still not poking. Checking the air pressure, all the lug nuts are tight. What pressure are you putting it at?
I like 32, 33.
Ready, Darren, to drive this thing?
I'm not driving this thing.
I appreciate
Maybe
that.
after like a week of testing.
It needs to be tested. I'm nervous here, people. I don't even know if I want to drive it.
One brake line, not tight.
No, they're tight. They're tight. So we kind of have power steering. Everything's hooked up. That's like the only leak on the car. And it's not fully like bled out because of the leak. But everything else I think is good. Like everything was touched on this car, so.
That's maybe not good?
Do you know the word unknown? What'd you say?
What?
The car. A lot of shit was turned. Hopefully everything's tight.
I mean, everything I touched, I tight. What was that one
He
thing?
says that confidently.
What was the one thing, the oil pan? Remember that? When we were doing the motor?
No.
That was like 2-3 months ago.
That wasn't me.
Leave it loose. Him and Brian, it was.
That's good. A good seal.
RTV's already wrapped.
You gotta let the RTV shrink up and then you squish it. So we're checking tire pressure and then we're firing this bad girl up. Action! Alright, so I guess there's just one thing left to do. I'm just gonna get after it. We should open the door so maybe if something fails, I don't go through the door.
The e-brake's up.
Huh?
The e-brake's up.
Well, if the e-brake failed there.
First thing I would test is see if it goes into all the gears. Clutch is working, we don't gotta adjust the pedal.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I want the door open.
Yep.
Cold start, so you know you gotta let it come down a little bit.
See if it'll go in gear. It's either gonna stall or not go in gear.
In gear, it's now rolling.
On, off.
It is on, off. That's no giving the clutch pedal at all. That bitch is on.
Could adjust it.
It's street cables, I think. Well,
No, it ain't the cable, it's the clutch.
No, the cables. It's got.
How?
Oh yeah, you're
How's the cables fucking with the clutch pedal?
brakes are soft.
So adjust it in. Less would be less rear, I think.
I want more front.
Yeah, so tighten that, tighten that, tighten that. Dumbass.
It says less that way.
Less rear. We want more front. It sounds badass.
All the way?
I don't know about that. Is that all the way? He don't have a clue.
For the record, I never drove a K-Series anything. I'm not gonna rip it right now. I'm not gonna do whatever.
Make sure it functions. Yeah. Looking at the gauges, make sure everything's good. Look at the AFR, it's right there.
I'm watching it.
I'll be out here. Loop around, I'll go over there. What? It's the power steering.
It felt nuts.
What?
The power steering. It like shimmied. That is the sound heard around the world. Everyone knows what that is.
Open headers.
Open headers Honda. The amount of those I hear go by my house in the middle of the night is crazy. That's cool to see.
Yeah, it is.
That's very cool to see. Look at that smile. It's cool. Damn.
Of course, it's starting to snow.
It looks good outside. Like the engine, it looks so good. Like outside. Like
give it a little rev. Let's hear it.
I don't want the neighbors to get upset. Enough of that. It's crazy. It's crazy that people just be driving like that. In here, it's so violent. I can only imagine how it sounds.
Well,
like
it's right there if you think about it.
Fumes are all coming in. How the brake lines go? Great. Let me see. Deej, you forgot to run brake lines in this thing. I'm gonna do some quick pulls down the road and we'll be good. Test it. Don't be doing pulls. It's not.
I wouldn't do a full pull.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't feel like it's running that.
Like ease onto it a little. That's it.
I put a startup map on this thing. Not to go beat the fuck out of it, map. Like they're driving around a little bit. Don't be doing no K-Pro having that shit. That's what dudes do. They get the K-Pro and throw it in. They got their buddies too.
Limiter.
They're just like, I just gotta clear it out, and just running like, you know. Ooh. Whatever. Get the exhaust on. Let's dyno this thing.
It stops.
What?
It stops.
Yeah, barely.
Cold still.
What?
It's cold still.
It feels like there's something very loose in the front. Very loose.
Really?
The whole rack is no good.
Really? I don't know. No, don't do that. Is it?
In there, yeah. My ears are ringing. I would say great success. I do want to drive it a little more, but there's something loose in the front. So I'm gonna see what that's about, and then we'll all go for a ride in it. Would you like to go for a ride in it? Darren, want to go for a ride in it?
I don't know, kid.
How'd it sound?
Sounded great.
Crispy?
Yeah, it sounded good.
Yeah, that's pimp. We had to park it. We had to do a little bolt check. We found the coils were loose. Lower control arm was one loose. The alignment is probably very bad, but
Fuck, if Jerry drove his on the road, this can go on the road.
let's all hop in it and we'll go get some ice cream or something, yeah?
Dairy Queen. All the way to Dairy Queen. Over.
Let's go.
Great! Dead battery.
Battery's dead because the alternator is not charging because the belt is not really touching the alternator too much, so Ant's trying to adjust that. Darren found me a jump pack.
Found.
Negative to negative. Ant, do the honors. Mind you, there's no cluster in it and it's very loud in the car, but we tightened some stuff. The rack is still making a little noise because it still is leaking. It's very loud in here, I do apologize.
Yeah.
I want to get on it so bad, but obviously it's not set up to do so. Let's feel a little dangerous.
Smoking? Yeah.
Need an overflow. Other than that, can't really do much until we tune it. Can't go crazy with it. The alternator's still really not charging, but gotta connect the wire. So like,
Why don't you shut it off when you talk on the camera?
what?
Why don't you shut it off when you talk to the camera?
Might not start.
Yeah, it might not start again. I was saying, I don't really want to shut it off because the alternator
I'll get it in the
we
shop.
don't think is charging.
What?
What's that do?
Nothing.
Well, yeah. Not gonna drive it, probably do a board alignment and then take it back out and not rip on it. It drove good. I can't get on it because it broke up. Before I do anything else, the rack is leaking a lot and it's starting to make noise. So before I total the pump, it has to be addressed.
Action!
So we're under here because, like I said, the power steering issue, it's a big issue. So took the bolt off of the back of the rack. It's gonna piss right here in a second, watch. If there's fluid in the rack, it probably all pissed out. The long thread. Oh yep, no fluid in it. That's really good for the rack. Right up against the subframe too, so it's such a bitch.
Need more practice with those fingers?
Spray, yeah, this.
Push the spring up a little, maybe. Put that back in.
God, stick your hand in there. You think it's easy?
No, I was laughing at Darren.
Yeah, why not?
Just put it back.
Wait.
So these are the parts that we have right here, and I think one solution, Honda Bond, maybe. I'll fucking JB weld it, to be honest. There was a sealant on it when we took it off.
A little bit of Honda Bond.
Exactly. It has to be intended to have some
The
sort
other
of.
rack has like a rubber seal in it.
That's out of a D13. This is ITR. Whole subframe out of something. I got it a while ago. It's so mint. Besides it leaking, but the subframe and all the stuff on it, the arms,
It'll be in about 5 minutes.
pristine, and it was like under $500 shipped all the way from California. I think it's a bargain. I haven't seen another one pop up, so I got lucky to say the least. So clean this, goop it up, put it back in, fluid, bleed the system, then we'll have power steering. And RJ, shout out RJ. He found me a full Greddy exhaust for it. We will have an exhaust on it this week, I hope. B-bands, clamps, because it needs an exhaust. My head was hurting in it, and obviously for the noise, it's very unpleasant. So anyways, Honda bond this, put it back in. Right there. Can you guys see that? That's where it was pissing out of. Stood up a Honda bond, probably let it sit for a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Gotta loosen the rack because it was tight, so any little bit of room that it gave us definitely helped. What are we doing?
Listen.
Plugging in the cluster. Aaron supervising. Because we're having an alternator charging issue.
Bad, real bad.
It's very bad. So we don't know if it has something to do with the charge light here. As it says, this blue wire has to go somewhere. I think the circuit is being complete because we didn't have the cluster plugged in. Shit cluster, I'll show you when it's in. But we only got an RPM gauge on her.
Fuck it.
It's true to miles though. We're at
79,000 kilometers.
7940. So I mean that's
Basically 69,000 miles.
no, it's not. It's like 40 something.
Start.
Well, make sure it's not in gear.
Let me as loud as you can. Oh, what?
4.
You can't restart this thing once you got a battery charge.
We gotta charge it back. We gotta plug the charger back in it. Watch this thing start. Where are the keys? Give me.
Oh, it's in gear, it's in gear.
I don't care.
Run over here.
Oh! Got a check engine light on. It looks fine.
Is the engine still there?
We got an engine light and a muffler light on.
Why? Because there's no muffler.
Hey, you think the exhaust light is on because there's no muffler? Why is the exhaust light on? I don't know. Why would the exhaust light be on? Why would the exhaust light be on? That was never a thing before. Dude, it was charging.
No, it was
It
not.
was going.
You know what it should be? 13 to 14.
A little battery though.
Doesn't matter. Not the battery. It's a brand new alternator.
It shouldn't be around 12 too.
That's the battery. It'd be around 14 too. Yeah, 14 too. It'd be good. You don't waste that wire. I don't give a fuck.
Alright, so Ant just soldered a wire, crimped it, heat shrinked it. He's optimistic about it, but if it's as easy as that, crazier shit has happened. Guess what? What?
Oh, wait.
So, we ran into a predicament. Since we have the relocated power steering pump all the way down, it kind of angles the belt at like a weird angle, which is not giving the alternator pulley that much contact.
No way. That's the issue?
So, we're testing. The alternator still isn't charging. So we put a spacer behind the alternator, the top one. So say this is the alternator.
We'll just show them. It's right here.
Good thinking, Darren. Show him the fucking spacer.
Makes it so the alternator gets kicked out a little.
We don't know how that's going to affect other systems, but if my science is correct, it should give more contact to the pulley. So we're going to fuck around and find out.
Get that fucking thing out of my face.
So we spaced the alternator out. I don't know technically if you can do that, but we did it. Put a little metal spacer on the top one and the two bottom ones. And it definitely gives the belt a little more contact on the pulley. See it in there? Right there. So it's either gonna charge or not charge. Kind of see the angle a little bit, but nothing. complete waste. But I think, yeah, we might have to change the alternator out, which is annoying. It's not terrible to do. It's just, it's a brand new alternator. It shouldn't be the issue. Kind of checked everything off. I just try a different alternator, see if that does it. All right, so we pull the alternator. I'm gonna bring this to advance, see if they could test it for us, and if not, buy a new one. I wanna see Eric. Brought the alternator to the parts store. They tested it and it was still good. So that could only mean it could be probably just in the wiring. Let the wiring diagrams begin. Search what goes to what, double check it, triple check it. I'm gonna end the video there because we have to go over some wires, charge the battery, the alternator back in. We should have that figured out in the next one. Go through the wiring. But on the bright side, we drove the car. Very stoked to do that. In the next one, hopefully put an exhaust on it, then we could dyno it, and then we could really street drive it, give it a good alignment, all that fun stuff. So I'm ready to do some pulls in this thing already. Let me know your thoughts. Thus far, come a long way, and it's cool to see it actually being able to drive and kind of function. Minor things, but that's to be expected with any swap. I'm excited to do a whole lot with this car, so stay tuned. I'll catch you guys in the next one.